And now to have a better explanation on Gaza's latest and Al Jazeera cameraman who was killed, I'm joined live by Mrs. Anastasia Bato from United States. He's an editor-in-chief at Leuno magazine and a co-chair of International Peace Coalition. Mrs. Anastasia, thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And directly to the question, White House consistently asserts that Israel has the right to self-defense. Mrs. Anastasia, could you please clarify for me, in your opinion, how intentionally targeting over 90 journalists and killing over 90,000 innocent civilians, including 8,000 children, represents an act of self-defense?
Obviously, it doesn't. It really does not represent any kind of self-defense. You're talking about defenseless people here. I mean, this is just an all-out genocide on the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza. And what you're really seeing, and this is, I'm a member of the Schiller Institute, the LaRouche movement. We've talked a little bit about this in the past with Harley, but it really gets at this question of what are they really after, right? Because it's not just about Gaza at this point. There's something much bigger going on in a whole geopolitical scheme. And you have a total breakdown of the international financial system, a total breakdown of what you would call the West, right? The old way of thinking, this old empire. And they are so desperate to try to keep this empire propped up. They're actually having an open genocide of a population. And so our response to this is we have to wake up not just the people in the United States, but the people of the world, that this is not acceptable. This is blatantly happening in our faces, and we cannot continue to have depraved indifference to these kinds of situations in the world.
Quite interesting. Mrs. Anastasia, given how many journalists have been murdered in Gaza since October so far, several questions come to the scene. What is the purpose of killing journalists? And how can we protect such an important field that is also known as the fourth estate? You are an editor-in-chief. You are one of people working in this field. So how can we protect ourselves and our reporters?
I mean, the killing of journalists obviously is a way to silence them. That's absolutely what this is. My heart goes out to the families. I believe there's 34 journalists who have been officially killed. There's probably many, many more who are just missing or injured or that we don't really know what's happened to them. But officially, that's what I've heard. And if we don't have these kinds of brave people out there who are willing to go into the heart of a crisis and report on it, then how are we supposed to know what's going on? So I think officially, we have to come out, whether we use the UN or whatever we have to do, these people have to be protected completely by international law, and there has to be an international response to this. This kind of reaction, of la-di-da, we can't just do anything about it, this was just a casualty, right? That's what they're saying, these are casualties of war. No, these are people who have been silenced from speaking the truth, and we have to defend them.
Unfortunately, some Western media just keep calling it collateral damage, really unfortunately. Mrs. Anastasia, in general, what is your expectation on what is coming concerning the Palestinian cause in general and Gaza Strip in particular?
Well, there's definitely been an occupation that's been happening for quite a long time. And this region, you can say that it's Gaza, but it's also the Middle East as a whole has been divided up and used as a geopolitical game. And that's what you're seeing happening with Palestine, is that this whole region has been used by imperialists to keep people fighting amongst each other. And this forced battle, you could say, that's happening right now, that's spurring on the world, I think we have to have a response to this, which is of a higher level, that we need to have peace, not just a peace of the grave or a piece of kumbaya, where we hold hands and sign a document or something, but a higher peace where we talk about what's actually best for mankind and seriously addressing the wrongs that have been done. This is an occupation that has happened on the people of the Gaza Strip. That's exactly what this is. This didn't just start on October 7th. This has been going on for decades and decades, which was spurred on by a handful of imperialists.
Mrs. Anastasia Battle, you joined me live from the United States. Thank you so much for your intervention.